Hi guys and welcome back. So today I'm actually going to do a first impression with the majority of my Colourpop stuff and a few other things. So obviously I think I mentioned in my haul that I wanted to try the foundation and a few other products, but they were just completely out of the colours that I wanted. So I have actually come and found a few other items as well I could do a first impression for. And again as well, obviously I can't use every single item I got from Colourpop because I can't use like 3 eyeshadow palettes. But I'm here today to do basically a full face of first impressions. The only thing I don't have new is my powder, face powder and under eye powder, just because I'm trying a new everything else. I don't want to mess everything up with my powder. I'm not trying a new mascara, however I do have one that's only been opened a few weeks. And I'm also not trying a new brow product, but I am trying a new way of doing it. So I hope you guys really enjoy it, and here we go. I've been really excited to try some of this stuff. So I am going to start out with my face makeup just because I want to see if my eyeshadows have fallout. Not expecting it, but just want to see if they do. I'm not trying a primer because I'm trying a foundation and everything else, and sometimes some foundations don't work with primers and the other way around. So this is actually just a little sample. I think I got this like close to my birthday or even further away, so I'm going to have to use this. I did get another sample of the NARS Natural Radiant foundation or whatever, but she gave it to me in such a wrong colour I can't even use it. But this is the Laura Mercier Silk Cream Oil Free Foundation. So the girl said that it's very nice for oily skin, it's nice coverage, and this shade definitely looks a lot better for me than what the other one did, because I'm not kidding, that one was straight up orange. So I'm going to try this. Does it have... I don't know what shade it's in. It just says Laura Mercier. Oh, 1N1, sorry. So I'm just going to try this because it's pretty much the only new foundation I have besides my Australis Fresh and Flawless one. But I want to do a whole dedicated video to that one. So, yeah. I do have a new sponge, and I'm using the EcoTools sponge. I have been using this a little bit more lately. So this isn't brand new today. It is clean, I promise. It's just stained. I don't really know the claims or anything on it. I'm not actually looking for that. I'm just trying this today to see what it's like. The girl recommended it to me. She said it's got nice coverage. It lasts a while. Because I said I wanted a foundation that was like matte, but not like the Urban Decay All Nighter foundation, because I did not like that one. It wasn't that it was too matte, it just looks so heavy on my face. But I'm also still trying to decide if I like this sponge. I like the sponge and I like the material, but I don't know if I like the shape of it. That's it. It's a bit hard for me to do concealer. Okay, so here we go. I don't know if it is just the fact my moisturiser underneath or anything, but it has a nice glow. Also, by the way, we have a storm going on, so I'm very sorry if you can hear it. I literally have sat here for like the past 2 hours waiting for it to settle down, and it's settled down enough I can film now, but before it was like no way I could film at all. It was way too loud. But I mean, colour aside, this is way too dark. I don't know why everyone always gives me foundations that are too dark. But that aside, this looks beautiful. It's not emphasizing my pores. It looks nice and smooth. It looks beautiful on my forehead. It's not even clinging to my eyebrows. I have the biggest problem with foundations like caking in and clinging into my eyebrows, and this one doesn't. And it just has a really nice healthy glow. It's not emphasizing texture. It's not looking dry or cakey. I wouldn't say it looks completely lightweight or anything. I don't know, but it looks really nice. It's not I don't know if I just said, it's not emphasizing my pores. It's not making any of my scars look worse. It's covered everything very well. I mean, that's that right there. I don't think I'm going to be able to really cover that at all. That will not go away. It is painful, it's itchy, and it's sore. I don't think that will be able to go away at all, but this looks really nice. There are sometimes I like to just go into a first impression without really doing much research, so to say. That's another reason why I just didn't want to look up the claims, because I don't want to, and it just looks really nice. I don't like to be disappointed by the claims, but I am just going to sit here and look it up just to be sure. Okay, so I'm on the Mecca Maxima website. This is where I can get Laura Mercier in Australia. This is the Silk Cream Oil Free Photo Edition Foundation. $73 it retails for. That is, so I have one N1 Cream Ivory, but honestly the shade that matches me probably would be 1W1 Ivory. I think that would match me a bit better. But it says, crafted specifically for oilier skin types, this long-lasting foundation creates a smooth, perfected complexion with medium to full coverage and a matte finish that wears comfortably for up to 12 hours. I would love to get 12 hours of wear out of a foundation. Next up for concealer, I have the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. So this one I finally bought in a darker shade. So I previously have bought this, but it was way too pale. I use it as like an eye primer when I'm doing a super bright bold look or something, because it is way too pale. Cannot use it. Or I just mix it in with other concealers. But it looked horrible and dry and cakey on my under eyes, and I had a few people say that it's probably because it was so pale it was emphasizing it. So I thought, well, I'll give it one last shot. I will buy a darker shade, and I do really like this as an eye primer. It's the only concealer I've ever found I can use as an eye primer. So if I don't like it for that, I do like mixing this in with other concealers as well. This is my last shot to see if I like it on its own. So this shade I bought is Fair 06. I believe the other shade I have was before they redid all the shades, but I got this one, Fair 06, and this one looks to be much better. So this is a much better colour for me. This one is like, they've changed it. It's now got like a matte tube, but everyone knows what the ColourPop No Filter Concealer is. I'm just trying a different shade. I have tried this before, but basically it's just like supposed to be like a matte full coverage concealer. So I'm going to put this on my under eyes and stuff and blend it in, and we'll see how it goes. I have to say this does look very pale as well, but please keep in mind my foundation is also too dark. With my normal coloured foundations, the ones that match me, I think this will be a much better shade. I reckon they were right, because this does not look cakey, heavy, dry and gross. It either must be I got a dud, shipping it in the heat must have changed it, or just the shade is way too pale. Because this one, blending it out, it's now bright in my face, my foundation looks a little bit better, and my under eyes are covered, and it does not look, I mean the last one, it literally made my face look so dry and cakey, and it wasn't dry and cakey and things like that. So probably I needed a darker shade. So this is an A+ for me now. I'm going to just put on a tiny little bit more just to see if I can build it up. Because sometimes I build it up, but if not, then I just put my color corrector on underneath. But I also have to say I actually really like the applicators of this concealer. Okay, so I just sat here and set my under eyes and my face, and I do have to say, not only do I have something in my eye, I am very impressed right now. My face looks really nice. I did use my Australis Fresh and Flawless powder just because I love it. It's one of my favorites, and surprisingly, it actually lightened my foundation, which It normally darkens the ones that match me ever so slightly, but it lightened it enough. It lightened it enough to where I can get away with this colour. Because it just looks nice. It's now mattified it. I didn't even need to use that much powder. Normally with foundations I need to pack the powder on because my foundations just don't set on my face whatsoever. They will remain sticky. I can't even use setting sprays because it will just completely reverse everything I've done with the powder. There are times I've literally sat here for like 2 or 3 minutes just packing powder on my face, but this looks beautiful. It looks smooth, it looks flawless, it looks really, really good. My concealer looks really, really nice as well. It's not as full coverage as I thought it would be, but I also have really bad under eye circles at the moment. I can't see on my camera. I do have a mirror to see what my camera's doing, but it's not up close. It looks like my face is a bit too pale, but that also might be just the glare from everything because it's so like dark right now. But at the moment I'm very impressed. It looks beautiful over my nose, which I have been struggling so bad to find a foundation that looks nice over my nose, but it just looks really, really nice at the moment. Beautiful and smooth and amazing. So just to give my camera and everything a bit of a break, I'm going to do my brows off camera just because you don't need to see how I do my brows. But this is what I was talking about when I said I'm doing things a little bit differently. Seeing as my natural hair colour is changing and I have decided in a few weeks I'm going to save up and get my hair done, I don't really want to be buying new eyebrow products until my hair's done so I can match one to that. But my Rimmel Brow Kit is too dark. Even though I got the dark red in, it's just too much, and I find that also sometimes makes my face look too pale because it's just too intense and dark. So what I do is I actually found, I thought I'd thrown this out. I thought I'd thrown this out, my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow in Blonde. Honest to God, thought I'd throw this out, and it actually still works really well. So what I do is I use this as like the cream base underneath because it's pale enough, and then I will just brush it out and I will go in very lightly with the powder from this brow kit, and I find the lighter base underneath just makes it look so much better. So we are going to ignore the disaster that's my brows, because basically I put too much of the pomade in my eyebrows and then I couldn't get it out, and then it was just going to smudge everywhere and just look like a huge disaster. So I think I fixed it a little bit. It smudged everywhere, and you know, I've tried to fix it. I think it looks alright, but hopefully once I get the rest of my makeup on, it'll take away from the distraction of that. I zoomed you guys in a bit more so I can sit back a little bit, but I do have my mini Hoola bronzer. I was going to use my e.l.f. one that I bought, but I thought I would like to try this one today. So this is a mini one, obviously. I'm not going to use the brush it comes with because I'm just going to use my normal bronzer brush. But it opens up. It's so cute and tiny. I love the tiny little mirror that's in this. It is so cute. And the bronzer brush that I use is the Real Techniques buffing brush. The writing has come off mine. This was like the first decent brushes I ever had, and I did not treat them very well. So yes, but this is the bronzer and it looks to be really nice. Doesn't smell like anything. So I'm just going to dip my brush in. Quite a bit more comes off than what I was expecting, and I'm just going to blend this on my face and try it. So it blends like a dream. But colour-wise, it's borderline being a bronzer or a contour shade. It's looking very grey here, and I do not have a cool tone bronzer on this brush at all. You guys know some of mine are very orange, and if I was contouring, I wouldn't be using this brush. I would use a different one, and so I have no cool tone bronzer on this brush at all. So all the cool tone is coming from this brush, this bronzer, sorry. And yeah, it is borderline contour only, but it's looking very grey right here, and then the outer parts look bronzed, so maybe once I have everything else on again, it'll look a little bit better. It's mostly this side for some reason. This one hasn't clung the cool tone parts, but this side will cling like a contour look to it. I don't know if it's just my face or what. For blush here, I have another ColourPop blush. This one is actually pretty much almost the same as the other one that I own, except it's much brighter. So this one is a Super Shock Cheek. It's a matte shade in the colour No Vacancy. So if that doesn't just scream bright summer look to you, I don't know what does. So I have another colour called Holiday, which is pretty much the same as this, except it's a bit more of that peachy watermelon colour. So I'm going to just be very lightly handed with this just off first because I don't know how pigmented this one is. And I'm just going to obviously use this as blush. It's a super bright, bold, fun colour. Please keep in mind as well, I do always apply mine quite a bit brighter because I am so oily. I need to have it applied quite bright first, particularly my blush, because it's like this is where I'll start and go oily. So it'll just absorb all that colour. So it will look a little bit more normal in 20 minutes, half an hour, but I do have to apply it a bit brighter. A couple of weeks ago, I did pick up the e.l.f. Metallic Flare Highlighter in white gold. A lot of these e.l.f. products are $10 now, so I am very happy to try these. I know I had also just bought my Mecca Maxima one in white gold, but sometimes, like I mentioned with the ColourPop Smoke Show palette in my haul, sometimes it's nice to have an affordable option. The Mecca Maxima one is also very powdery sometimes, but this is what they look like. I know people have been raving about these. They had other colours in them, but this was the one I wanted. And it almost looks squishy, like the ColourPop stuff, but it looks squishier. It's not, it's just a powder. But I am not going to swatch this on my hand. I'm so excited to try this on my face. So I've just got my highlighter brush here. This is technically, it was like a contour brush, but it's a highlighter brush. And I'm just going to swirl a little bit in first because I don't know how pigmented or how glowy this is. And I mustn't have got much at all. So it was a little bit drier and stiffer of a formula than I thought it would be. But for a $10 highlighter, this is really, really nice. The colour is actually different than my Mecca Maxima white gold one. This has got a lot more of that icy tone to it. So at the end of the day, it might be listed as the same one. It might look like the same one in the pan, but it is different. I can tell it is different. It's a bit more chunky. It doesn't look as powdery on my face though as what the Mecca Maxima one can do. But it looks really nice. It's not emphasizing gross texture on my nose or my chin or anything. And it's not as textured up on my cheeks as what it can be, or like what the Becca ones are. I would describe it as looking like the Becca ones where they're a bit chunky and sometimes emphasize texture, but nowhere near as chunky and showing texture, if that makes sense. But it does look really nice, and so far I'm happy with it. I think my foundation again is a little bit too dark for this shade because it is, when I'm looking straight ahead, looking a little bit ashy and like the silver stripes on my face. So again, I'm going to have to try most of these products on a foundation that actually matches me to be able to give you a full so I'm going to have to use these on a foundation that actually matches me like 100% to be able to give you my full thoughts on it. But at the moment, I really like it. And I think if you're someone that uses setting sprays, spraying a setting spray like now would be so good. We're moving on to eyeshadow, and it was such a tough choice because I have 4 palettes to try. The Anastasia Carli Bybel palette and my 3 ColourPop ones. So I wanted to try a ColourPop one, made that decision, and I've seen videos on the Smoke Show one and the Aha Honey one, but I haven't really seen any videos on the Baby Got Peach one. I haven't searched for it. I'm just saying when I scroll through my subscription feed and my homepage, I haven't seen people use this one in a tutorial or anything really at all. So this is what made me come to the decision to use this one. Maybe, obviously this is not the first video out there of someone using it, but I haven't seen people using it, so I thought I will join the crowd of the ones that are least used. I'm going to take everything off and use the palette as a mirror. But I also do have the Aha Honey and the Smoke Show one. This is one of their 9-pan palettes, and it is plastic, which is okay, a bit more travel friendly, but I do wish they made these cardboard. I can take the mirror out and use the mirror for something else later on, but I know it's going to take me years to probably go through this palette, or eventually I might even pop the middle out and just use it as a palette, but I would much rather they switch these to being cardboard than plastic. But I love the thought of the whole monochrome palettes. I think it is amazing. I think it's great. I love that. You could buy like one of all of them and there you go, you've got your palettes. I mean, they've got the Going Coconuts one that's like super natural, normal colours as well. But you guys know I love my peach colours. I love my peach shades. But like 90% of my peach shades, which there's not that many, but most of them, even my blushes, they're all that like bright watermelon peach colour. So I decided to grab this because I have a few lip colours that will go perfectly with this. So that's why I decided to get this, because it's more of the orangey, orangey peach. There is a pinky peach shade here, and then there's a more orange one down here, so I can flip the tone depending on what I want. The only thing is this shade up here called Hungry Ghost is one of those pressed glitters that is, it says on here as well, not intended for use in the eye area. It actually has that as well on the shade Centerfold for some reason, which is that one. It says on the back here there's an asterisk on the shade Hungry Ghost and Centerfold, and then it says at the bottom, asterisk, not intended for use in the immediate eye area. So I don't know if that's a mistake, but apparently the Centerfold shade's not to be used on the eyes, but I am going to. But looking at this palette, it's beautiful. I was immediately drawn to it. Like the minute I opened it, I knew I'm going to love this. I can get a more neutral tone with using these ones, and then that I can get, super bold look using these colours. And I've got my two very nice metallic shades here. This shade here called Get Even, I know I'm going to love. So just to save some time, I'm going to like point at the shades and use them on my eyes, and then I'll come back basically once I've done my eyeshadow and tell you how they went. Okay, so I have finished the eyeshadow and I'm in love with the colours. These colours are gorgeous. Obviously you don't have to go as bright as I did, you can just use these very subtly. I mean, if I wanted a neutral look, I could put the shade Darlin that I just used in my crease, and then I could deepen it up with a bit of Perky, or just use Perky alone. I mean, that'd be really nice. The shade Darlin, which is the one here, that would be really nice if you wanted that, caramelly peachy tone with that like just one matte shadow in the crease. That's a really nice colour. The colours all blended really nicely. They blended easily. They all blended nicely. They all blended together really well. Can you imagine that Get Even shade I used on my lid? Can you imagine if you had a glitter that colour? Imagine how amazing that would be. And that is just it. Normally, they feel a little bit more dry and a little bit more powdery, and they do look a little bit more powdery than my other Colourpop eyeshadows, I do admit. But also some of those other ones I have, like my two Kathleen Lights palettes, sometimes I do have a bit of an issue blending, but it also may not not be those shadows, because I sometimes have very big problems with trying to get eyeshadows to blend on my eyes. So super impressed with the shades that I used. I cannot wait to use this shade down here on my lid either. That looks beautiful, but I'm very, very happy. Also, I just want to point out now that the foundation is not transfer resistant. I must have bumped my nose, and I don't know if you can see, but like right there, it's like started to come off. I also think putting my highlighter there rubbed that off a little bit, and I can now see all these little spots and all my scars there coming through. So I don't think this foundation is completely transfer resistant. It didn't say that it wasn't. But I normally don't get this much stuff coming through with putting bronzer and stuff on with a brush that I used. So obviously I'm going to have to try it again. I mean, it looks beautiful on my skin, but it's now starting to look a bit heavy in that up here because my brushes started to lift the product. So I'm going to have to try it again because it's now like looking funny and clinging to like all my spots and stuff, and it's looking real heavy like here, and it's also showing all the hairs on my face right here. I don't know, it's not as bad this side, but it's now showing all the hairs on my face up here, and it's kind of like come away from my nose, but other than that it actually does look really nice. But I've really been disappointed in high-end foundations lately. There's a few I've tried and I've been quite disappointed. So next item is the ColourPop Cream Gel Liner Pencil in the shade Swerve. So this is the black eyeliner. If I like this, I am actually going to just keep this one obviously and buy the Vault, because I really want to get into using other coloured eyeliners. I pretty much just have black or white, and I have a brown. I haven't used a white or a brown in so long, and I rarely use black as it is, but I really just wanted to try it because I've heard so many people say good things about it, because I am still always on the hunt for a nice eyeliner. I really wanted to get the mascara as well, but they didn't have it. I don't really have much of an interest in getting the cream gel liner in the pot, but the pencil I do. So it's really nice. It's actually a bit smaller than I thought. I am going to smudge a little bit into my lashes just to see how it smudges, and then I'm also going to put some on my waterline. But if I can find my mirror, here it is. I love the fact it's a wind up, but also at the same time, ones that are like pencils that can sharpen, they're a lot more environmentally friendly. But I love how it's like small and easy, and it's really lightweight. So here we go. Drawing it very lightly because I don't actually like it to be too dark on my upper lashes. That is literally the smoothest eyeliner I think I've ever used on my eyes, ever. That is so smooth. I'm going to smudge it out on my upper lashes first before I put it on my waterline. I'm just going to smudge it very finely. So it has kind of faded obviously a little bit, but it's still there, and it's smudged very easy. Not too easy, but it smudged very nicely. So if I wanted to do like smudgy eyeliner, I think it'd be really nice. Obviously, if I wanted it darker or something, or if it wasn't as, like if I wanted it darker than this, I could put more on, or I could like put an eyeshadow over the top. But for now, for what I like for smudgy eyeliner, that's actually really, really nice. So I'm going to try it on my waterline, but I need to stand up and do it, so I'll be right back in a second. That drew on my eyes so nicely. I swear, I don't think I've had an eyeliner go on my waterline so nice and dark and just nicely. So I'm going to leave my makeup on for about 2 or 3 hours just to see how it wears, because particularly this eyeliner, my eyeliners, I will have some that just go on perfectly like right now, but they don't wear nicely. They fade very quickly. So if that wears nicely, I swear I'm going to buy one in every colour, because eyeliner is one of those things, it is so personal. So there we go. Sometimes it lengthens the lashes a little bit more, sometimes it doesn't, but my lashes are nice at the moment. You know, if I wanted it to look perfect, I'd probably put falsies on, but I am not going to bother. Last thing is lip products, so I am going to try one of my ColourPop Lippy pencils, which is the lip liner, and one of the Lippy sticks. So the Lippy pencil, I bought, this one is in the shade As If. Now this is the really, really pale nude colour. It looks kind of funny. It almost reminds me of like the Honey Dude eyeliner. It's like a very pale yellowy nude. Now I'm going to try this out because there's so many lip colours I already own that I know would mix well with this. They might be a bit too dark for what I like, but I put this on and it's pale enough it like mixes together nicely. So that's another reason why I'm using this particular colour, but I'm going to use the lip liner first. They feel a bit more weighty than what I was expecting. They feel really nice. The eyeliner, I have to say the packaging felt very cheap. But I'm just going to put this on my lips. Okay, so this is kind of like concealer lips colour, but you'll get it when I put other lip colours over the top. So it feels really nice and creamy. It feels dry enough to where it's on my lips. It's not going to move, but it doesn't feel like it's drying. I feel like this one would be best used if you put your lip balm on and then pretty much like wipe it off afterwards. I don't mean wipe it off with like a makeup wipe. I mean just get a tissue, but make sure it's wiped off, because it was looking a little bit patchy on the areas that still have my lip balm fully on it. But the colour, I know this is going to mix well with some of my other lipsticks, and I'm hoping it'll mix well with this. So this is the normal lippy sticks. I've tried their liquid lipsticks, their lip glosses, but I've never tried their lippy sticks, and it seems these were like one of their first products, and I can't believe I've never tried it. This one is in the shade Dream Date, which is one of the nudes. Now, it's the one thing I have noticed. I don't know about their liquid lipsticks, but this is the only like pale lip colour they have. I can't really find, this looked like it was so much more pale online. I don't think they actually have a pale nude lip product, because I can't see any, so that's another reason why I got this lip liner. So this is a little bit deep for this look in particular. I know I will love this colour. This is like right up my alley. This is a matte. No, sorry, this one's a cream, but I believe it says matte. It says matte somewhere, but I'm just going to try this first. Oh, they smell so nice. Not quite as nice as like my NYX butter glosses, but nearly there. You can see this has mixed so well with the lip liner that it's created like that really nice just nude that I really like. Probably a little bit too yellow toned for what I like. This is definitely a cream. This is not a matte. This went on perfect. I love the shape, that like angled shape. I love it. This colour I'm super impressed with. It's not as intensely coloured as I thought it would be, so I think it will actually work with other lip liners I have. But basically both of them together have combined really nice formula as well as colour. So I mean, they're both from the same brand, I would kind of assume, and expect them to work well together formula wise. The colours will work really nicely too. I think that lip liner is going to actually benefit me in a lot of other colours I own, and I think I'm going to get a lot of use out of that lippy stick as well. They look really nice. It's probably a little bit too yellowy toned for my eyes, but if I had like something different on, it probably would look a little bit better. But I'm super impressed with that it's nice and it's like comfortable without being like I'm wearing super thick lip balm comfortable, but like I feel like it's there to stay as well. It feels really good. Okay guys, that was my first impression. This is going to be a pain to edit. This is going to be so long. I'm so sorry, but I'm just going to give you my very quick rundown of everything. Products I used will be listed in the description box down below. Please give the video a thumbs up if you made it the whole way through this disaster. Social medias down below as well. Hit the subscribe button and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.